Hey, in advance, sorry that I haven't been here for a while, but there was a reason. There was a reason for it. Anyways, in today's video, we will talk about brushes in Zbrush. This is the most important part of sculpting in Zbrush, so it's useful to know about them, especially about the most used brushes in my version. Try to practice the same way as I do in this video on a random sculpture. We create a sphere, as usual, and notice these icons on the top left. The first icon gives us a choice of brushes. The second button gives us a way to apply the brush. We'll analyze it in more detail later. You don't have to know all of them to make a cool sculpture. Here's the first brush and one of the most important. Move. With this brush you can make various movements of a part of the model or the entire model, depending on the size of the brush. In this video I use some techniques that I may not have talked about. In short, Dynamesh recreates the grid or shape of our model. You can observe how move can be used. By pressing Alt and simultaneously left-clicking on a part of the model, you can see how this part begins to move along the normal. The normal is perpendicular to the surface. We'll talk about these nuances later, too. Next we take the standard brush. The name speaks for itself. This is the most basic brush and it can be extremely useful. You can observe how. The next one is clay, my favorite brush. With this brush you can get most of any organic model. It is soft and ideal for such shapes. On the screen you can see them standard. You can also see this brush in any Zbrush tutorial. Thanks to it, you can cut out the places that you need. There are other brushes like this, but you will use this one most of the time. The difference in texture that this brush creates, practice, and you will understand. Next, inflate. It's a brush that inflates the model in certain parts. Watch, do not use inflate at the maximum brush size. I remind you that the size of the brush can be adjusted using the S button and the strength using the U button. The next clay tubes. It's a specific brush which is useful in some cases. It is difficult to describe the cases, perhaps you will see the use in my future videos. As an example, you can use this brush to create chipped stones. Clay build-up. It's a brush similar to clay, but tougher for quickly creating shapes. Many people like to use it to create bones, for example, muscles, and so on. an excellent brush that makes it possible to narrow parts of the model. The usage itself is self-explanatory. Edge polish is a brush that allows us to create flat surfaces, smooth out the sharpest corners and irregularities. Slash is some kind of a variation of that standard, but it is tougher and has its own texture. Not bad for creating cyberpunk elements. Snake hook is a brush similar to Move, but having a slightly different functionality. The name perfectly describes the brush. Watch. Trim dynamic can also be used to create planes instead of corners. There is also zero merge guides, but we will discuss its function later. That's it for today. Here is our doodle. Thanks for watching.